I'm focused on his spirit cause it keeps me from his fire. The Holy Ghost was with me, so my fear I leave behind. My sins were all diminished when he took that breath and died. And if you think I'ma give up on my God, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie.
Hello, hello. This is Christina Byron. You're watching Black T News. Hello. Welcome to Black T News. I'm your host, Christina Byron. Today, we're going to be talking about this whole thing with Donald Trump going to McDonald's and how it has, like, I don't know, made the Democrats crazy. And I posted something about it on YouTube, and there were so many comments from Democrats. I found a lot of Democrats commenting on it, man. And they're just like, oh, Trump people are so stupid. They don't realize his staff set this up. And I'm like, of course we know his staff set this up. Like, you think we just thought he showed up to McDonald's, start working? That's crazy. Why would we think that? So there's just brain dead takes like that all over the place. I think there's even like a Newsweek article that I saw that said something like that too, like, oh, it's staged. Like, of course it's staged, and of course they screen those people. And I'm baffled. I guess we should be insulted that they think we're that stupid that they didn't screen those people and do all that stuff. But I'm just more baffled that they wouldn't know that we know that. And I'm like, how can you guys be so dumb giving this political commentary? And I'd be embarrassed to be that brain dead. But but it was fun. It was a fun campaign stunt, and that's what it was. It was, but it made him look very human and likable, and you just really saw how much his supporters really love him, and of course he loves McDonald's and is a good troll of Kamala. I saw it and I laughed. That's what I did when I first saw it. But we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about Kamala Harris kicking the people out of her rally after they said, Jesus is Lord. And that was a bad move on her part, certainly. So we'll discuss that. Also, I got so mad. She did a video about Amber Thurman and played it at her rally. And I'm like, this woman did not die from an abortion, but she was talking about miscarriages before she even started talking about, before they played the video. So I'm like, what is going on here? You guys are just, why are you tying her to this? If there's so many women that are dying from miscarriages, why don't you just use women who aren't properly treated from miscarriages or dying, instead of making up the story about someone who was literally died after having a botched abortion? An abortion ban would have saved her life, like a national one. So I was so mad when I saw that. Anyway, we got lots of things to talk about today. We're going to have a good show today. Anyway, before we jump into it, I want to encourage you guys to blacktnews.com, check out different content on my website, articles, videos, etc. If you like what I do here, please consider leaving a donation at blacktnews.com/donate, because it does cost to stream and run my website, all that good stuff, so you guys can support. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna be frank with you guys. I need to replace my computer or at least get it repaired and stuff. So and I get some other needs. So if you guys can support, I do appreciate you, and I'd rather get it taken care of sooner rather than later. So if there's anybody out there who can help on that front, God bless you. If you can, I understand. I certainly understand. But you guys can support by just going to blacktnews.com/donate. Or you guys can do it on Facebook with stars. You guys can support on YouTube with super chats. So I do read super chats or super thanks or whatever later if you can. But again, if you can't, I understand. Someone had contacted me earlier today, messaged me, asked for my Cash App and said, hey, can I leave a little gift? And I was like, thank you. I appreciate it. And, I'm trying to build up Black Teen News to be more and stuff. I mentioned today that I'm working on a video about Kamala Harris. And if you're familiar with my work through the years, I used to work at the Michigan Republican Party, and I had a very viral video called 50 Reasons Not to Vote for Hillary Clinton. And it got about 800,000 views at the time on Facebook. So this is prior to TikTok and stuff. And our YouTube didn't do anything at the time. And so it was in Michigan, and it got a lot of help. Even that video itself, it's like, I think this video itself helped to actually win the election, because even with like people who donated or people who volunteered and signed up and other kind of stuff, he thought it did a good enough job for engagement stuff that it really made a difference. And there's people who I see, meet throughout the years that are like, oh, I saw that video, like Ben Capel, who's in Am I Racist? I mentioned my video, and he's like, oh, I saw that. And Kat, who's from like Fox News on Greg Gutfeld's show and stuff like that, she told my sister that she had saw that video, so it really got around. But I'm the one who made that video. So anyway, I'm doing one about Kamala Harris. And I have my list, and I have all the videos chopped up. I have to do like add like some fixins on it and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to post it tomorrow. That'd be great. Um but I had a hard time picking on my 50, not because it was hard, but just because I couldn't find enough, or I was reaching. There was so many that I had to edit them down to get them to 50. And the music that I use is like about 7 minutes long. So I was trying to chop up all the clips to fit into like 7 minutes. So I had mentioned that it's just kind of hard editing a lot of stuff down. With Hillary Clinton, there were plenty of reasons and stuff to get us to the 50, but it was way easier finding 50 reasons for Kamala versus like Joe and Clinton. I'm not saying there wasn't like plenty to use for them either, but it was just like, oh, fracking ban, EV mandates, mandatory gun buybacks. Like that Fox News interview she just did with Brett, and like her saying that she wouldn't do anything with different from Biden, the Inflation Reduction Act not really being about inflation, voting against like Born Alive Survivors Act about the people born alive after abortion. There were so many to use about Kamala Harris that I had to be like, okay, let me take out some of these about the border. Let me take out some of these about immigration. Gosh, I had to cut some of these about about this and that. There's more I could have used, honestly, and like there's not even like a bunch of character stuff in there. I do mention she rose to power after having an affair with Willie Brown, but that was the only thing that was kind of like character related. But even where I chose to put, because it seems like that's a choice by the Trump campaign to not mention that at all, but and it's probably for the best. But where I set it up in the video, I think it's really important because it's at a place where people are getting the vibe that she'll do anything to get elected and will stab anyone in the back when it's necessary. So it's a good flow where it is. So I think it's in a good spot, and hopefully people will share it, people will retweet it, and frankly, I don't care if people just take it and repost it, as long as they attribute it to me. And I'm going to make a little statement at the end. It's like, if you want to repost it, please, at least say where it's from, and encourage people to support my work. But some people are like, oh, if it's too long, you can just do episodes. I wish I could do a lot more stuff. It's hard when I film my stuff, I edit my stuff. I'm a lone operative right now. But anyway, I said all that stuff to say I got more stuff coming, and I put a lot of time in this stuff, and I want to keep growing. So I thank you guys for watching. You guys watched, and you commented, and you shared, and you did what you could to get me to the point where I'm monetized on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff. But they are suppressing my content, so I'm not, I'm still making stuff, but it's like not where it ought to be. Or but I know some of you guys do support and you go online on the website and you support, or some of you do super chats. Some of you have given like really good super chats and just um blown me away. But everything literally does help, whether it's a like, a comment, a share, or you guys, going the extra mile and actually, donating some money. I appreciate it all. I really, really, really do appreciate it all. So many people offer political commentary. And so the fact that you take time out of your day to come and listen to me, I do not take lightly. I do not take lightly. And I hope that I say it enough, and I probably don't say it enough, but I'm so grateful to all of you. So anyway, thank you guys again. Oh, we are getting really close to Motor City Comic Con. I will be there. I will have a book table there, selling some of my books there. Probably just mostly my fiction stuff. But in also that same week, so the Sunday of the election, the 3rd, I will be in Ann Arbor at Bookfest, K Bookfest, and from 10 to 12 for author signing. And then that weekend, the 8th and 9th, and then the 10th, I'll be at Motor City Comic Con in Novi. So if you are in the area and you're going to any of those things, I will be there. You guys can get a signed copy of some of my work. So, that'll be great. And I'll have to see what my inventory is after that. Because I know some of you just buy stuff right off Amazon, but if I have some signed copies of stuff that you guys would like to order directly from me, I will make that available if you guys want to buy some stuff and have it out for Christmas. But the inventory I have, I need it for my Comic Con. I hope I have enough. I hope I have enough for that stuff. So anyway, I think that's all my announcements as of now. So let's hop to it. And thank you to guys in the comments. I see you guys. And again, I appreciate you guys so much. Anyway, let's hop to it. McDonald's. We know that Donald Trump loves McDonald's so much. And when I was scrolling online yesterday, I was so tickled. I was so tickled to see these images of Donald Trump at McDonald's. And by the way, my followers on Facebook were obviously very tickled as well, because when I tell you, they instantly like this stuff. Instantly like these photos. I posted up a couple photos. It seemed like 5 minutes later there was 88 likes on it. I'm like, what the heck? Like the engagement was crazy at it, like instantly. So yeah, Donald Trump, and he looks so good. He looks so good, like with his tie and his suit jacket off. I mean, his suit is like a dark navy, it looks like. And so he's like, but he's got the apron on, and the apron, he just looks like he belongs there. It's just so well color coordinated with his tie and everything, it. And they taught him how to make the fries, and he was working the drive-through. These are great photos. There's some amazing imagery that's come out of this election, just incredible imagery from it. But I just laughed. I thought it was instantly so funny. It's so funny because one, again, we know that he loves McDonald's, but two, Kamala Harris claims to have worked at McDonald's, and there's no evidence of that. I'm not saying that she 100% didn't work at McDonald's, and maybe other people feel confident to say the 100%, but even Snopes, like, and other fact checkers and stuff have looked into the story, and they can't find evidence that she worked at McDonald's. They reached out to her campaign, they've reached out to McDonald's itself to prove employment, and they haven't gotten anywhere. Kamala Harris, it seems like this is just a claim that appeared in 2019. And so they reached out to people she went to, because she said she got a job in college to get some spending money or whatever. And they reached out to different people she went to school with, family members, but there seems to be no evidence. It's not something that she talked about in her books. It's not something that was on resumes that they found in the past. It just really seems like something that was made up in 2019 to relate to people better, like the average person, I guess. And that's so weird to me. If that is the case, and and she made up her only job that was a private sector job. Uh, gosh, that is so weird. That is so weird. But her family, her parents, they had her parents were divorced. I'm assuming her mom got alimony or something. I don't know what that situation was, but they both had careers. She's not like she was some kind of less destitute kid that was getting by. Even how she explains it, that she worked at McDonald's for some spending money. You're an adult and you're working for spending money. So if you have to work for spend if you're working for spending money, then your bills and stuff are taken care of. And you're not worried about stuff that the average person has to worry about anyway. So you're not exactly relating to the common man anyway. Because other people are working to survive. Other people are working to pay their bills. They're working to put their children through school. They're working to put themselves through school. They're working to put food on the table. And some people talk about, like, politicians will say, I live paycheck to paycheck. That's what Marco Rubio would say. And I'm like, that must be nice. A lot of people must feel like that must be nice, because that wasn't my experience growing up. People are behind pay. You talking about paycheck to paycheck. So what, all your bills are set until your next paycheck kind of comes along, and it's, like, kind of planned out. A lot of Americans, they are struggling between the checks. They're behind. There's so to me, if you're working for spending money, it just seems like your stuff is taken care of. But that's if your parents had nice careers and could take care of you like that. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. I don't think, but that's the problem with the Democrats. They've made this class warfare stuff, the eat the rich stuff. So people have to be embarrassed if their families worked hard, and which means that their kids in turn don't have to struggle like or other people struggle. I don't know, however far back in the line. But that's a good thing if you have a child and you can leave an inheritance to them, and you set them up, but you still maybe teach them the value of hard work and all that other stuff. But you people who make up stories to relate to people who have to work hard, to just survive and live, or what, it's so strange to me. People are working to get where you are. Like Donald Trump being a billionaire. Some people don't understand. Like Eminem went on a big rant. He's like, I don't understand people. He's not like us, and he had to, he's a billionaire. Yeah, people want to get to be rich one day. Maybe they can't be a billionaire. Maybe they can't be a multi-millionaire or whatever, but they want to build something for themselves and for their families, and they have aspirational goals. And if you're able to reach those goals, and if you're able to give stuff to your children, that's nothing to be ashamed of. You've achieved the American dream. So I don't I don't understand people who are so ashamed of success. Now maybe they really have to feel like that way because their platforms are punishing success, you know. But there's nothing wrong with success. So anyway, her working at McDonald's is probably not true. And Donald Trump was like saying to reporters, I've worked at McDonald's longer than Kamala Harris. Is 15 minutes more than she's worked at McDonald's. Very, very funny. So he was in peak form while he was doing this troll about McDonald's. He really was. So he did a great job. Now I did a video showing some of this stuff, on I did one on TikTok, and then I posted the video on YouTube. And the comments it didn't get much traction on TikTok, which surprised me, but was not they're really suppressing my account right now. So, but it was timely, so I still thought they may let me break through the barrier of whatever shadow ban I'm under. But whatever. But I put it on YouTube, and I don't know where it's at right now. Last time I looked, it was about 10,000 views on it. But there were so many comments, and some people were even laughing about how angry the comments were. And so many people were like, oh, you dumb Trumpers, and oh, he'll, whatever. So, I mean, people who obviously don't watch my content, because you guys know that I've been very critical of Trump over the past 2 years or so. So, but anyway, they're saying stuff like, oh, these people fallen for this, and it's staged, and his staff set this up. And they're like, oh, these people are so pathetic if they believe this. And just one person, I was like, are you stupid? Like, I replied to them. I was very blunt. I'm like, are you guys stupid? Of course we We don't think that he just showed up to McDonald's and said, I would like a job. And he got started on day one on the fries. It's not even how it works. Like, you apply, you know, maybe they say we'll call you, or maybe you got the job, you can start Monday, or that's not how it works. So it just amazed me how silly it was, like, repeated over and over and over again. Like, oh, but they weren't the only ones. So there's this kid, Harry Sisson. He has a very big following on TikTok. He's paid by a company, Palette Media, that is paid by the DNC. So he's essentially a, you know, I guess paid through them, through his company or whatever. So he's a paid advocate. And so he did a video about it, and he said the same silly stuff. And I'm floored about it. I'm going to play you guys his video. But just so you know, it's more than that. I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw at least 2 lives where there were Democrats trashing Republicans because, like, oh, you people fell for this. You fell for this. I can't believe you guys are so stupid. You fell for this. What did we fall for? You don't think we don't know that they screened everybody who probably came through the drive-through? And if they didn't screen everybody and check all their cars, do you know how irresponsible that would be of the Secret Service to do that? If they didn't check everybody, knowing that there were several attempts on this man's life? Of course we know that someone arranged all this. Do you know how much work goes in to these political events? Do you know how much extra work has to go into when you have the president, former president, coming to an event? How people, JD Vance came somewhere, local, and they have to screen this stuff early. Not even like presidential stuff. When the governor came when I went to the Michigan Republican Party, the governor came. Guess who came first? His security came. You have to look around the building, and they don't just look around that building. They go look at other buildings across. They not just outside. They go inside and canvass the area. It's a big deal. No, you can't just show up to McDonald's and start working the fryer. Anyway, let me play this video from Harry. And just so you know, there are real people who really think that this is all just organic stuff he just randomly decided to do. I guess I would be embarrassed if this was my commentary if I was this young man. Like, I know he's young, but my gosh, but he's not alone. He's not alone. There's other older people than him making this kind of assessment.
Oh, you know how Donald Trump had a whole campaign event at a McDonald's today? Yeah, well, the entire thing was fake.
Wait, can you guys hear that? Because that looks like it sounds like it's coming through my speakers. Hold on. Could you guys hear that? When I started playing Harry? Can you let me know in the chat?
And stayed.
Okay.
First event at a McDonald's.
I think I fixed it. You can hear Harry. Okay.
Oh, you know how Donald Trump had a whole campaign event at a McDonald's today? Yeah, well, the entire thing was fake and staged. First and foremost, it's not like Donald Trump just showed up to the McDonald's and surprised everybody and started making French fries. No, this was a pre-planned campaign event. This was posted on the McDonald's at this location outside, saying that they were going to be closed that day for a political event. And also ahead of time, there was a journalist outside of this McDonald's, and the cars coming up to the drive-thru were rehearsing. They were rehearsing. The entire thing was staged. And all of these cars got into place to be served food by Donald Trump. The entire thing was fake. This is the thing about the Trump campaign, right? They're hoping to deceive you into voting for him. whether it be like campaign events like this, where he's trying to come off as the average working man, or actual policy where he just straight up lies about what Kamala Harris wants to do or what he wants to do. We all know that Donald Trump is a con man. We've known this for quite some time. The only question is, will the American people fall for the con? I don't think we should, and I don't.
Yeah. Okay, Harry. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. So the McDonald's, they put on the McDonald's that it was going to be closed. Yeah, of course they did, because they couldn't just McDonald's is a public restaurant. People who are local go in, order their same stuff every day at their local McDonald's. People who get, come in there often for their lunch, in the area. Then there's people who travel from all kinds of different places who go inside the McDonald's and get their order because they're driving by and they're hungry. And which one reason why Donald Trump always likes to go to McDonald's is because they have to have certain standards of what they're giving people. And so he knows it's pretty much going to be consistent, what he gets, it takes the guesswork out of it. I guess he figures it's safer. Like if someone doesn't like him, he still believes he's going to get the same kind of Big Mac or whatever. So that's one of the reasons why he likes going there so often. But Harry here, he thinks the fact that they closed this McDonald's down. So what should they have done? Had Secret Service just like screen everyone random person who comes in through the door to order the food, or anyone who comes to the drive-through? Or is it better to just, have it be, hey, in advance, this is closed, only open to certain people? When there's an event in town, and you're in the VIP, like they have to screen you. If you're in like if you go to a rally, for example, people will like sign up early to go. Those people, they're not like screening everybody like that. I don't know if there's something that they try to flag, but they don't even like check that stuff when you get to the door. Most of that stuff is just like name capture, email capture for data, to be frank. But if you're VIP and you're going to be in some kind of close proximity with the president, they do checks on you to make sure everything's okay. There's a lot of instances where you might not even be able to get a selfie or some kind of picture. Well, he might do an impromptu selfie. He's cool enough to do that. But sometimes his staff, like I was at a rally one time. I sang the national anthem, so I've already been cleared or whatever. And I was like, "Hey, can I get a picture? Can I stay back here and get a picture?" And they're like, "Unfortunately, we have to do screen and do X, Y, and Z to just get a picture." Now, if Trump was to come in and just start taking photos with everybody, his staff can't say anything about it. So sometimes he's a lot cooler than his staff is, and he's less strict than his staff is, because other people stay back there the whole time, and which there is a big gap of time between like the pre-show and when he actually shows up. And my sister was out in the audience, so I wasn't going to stay back there the whole time and have her be alone for like an hour and a half or something. So, but people who just decided to stay in the back and they weren't kicked out or whatever, and I guess I could have probably stayed back there and got a photo or something, but they were able to get their photo. But usually there's a bunch of screening stuff. When I went to the White House for different events, they screen my sister. Automatic fill had like filled out the information, and her name was like wrong. It was like first name something, and then maybe it was like two first names or some silly. But obviously you could tell it was a mistake. But they took all this extra time with Secret Service before they would let her go through with the rest of us, even though we all came together. Which she didn't mind, because Trump hired some really good-looking Secret Service men. I don't know what it was. Like, why do these men look so good? Like, I don't know if it's usually like that or what, but they had some nice looking guys working at, Secret Service at the White House or whatever. So, they just do background check. When I was trying to get that big portrait of Trump signed that my sister made, it was a text portrait, and it just said his name over and over again. That's how she made the text portrait. When I went to the Faith and Freedom Coalition thing, and first I tried to get it signed somewhere in Detroit, and the staff was like, "It's too big. We can't let you bring it in." So I just went home because I wasn't going to leave in Detroit in my car. And then I drove it down to DC trying to get it signed. So many people tried to help me. And then even like people over the event saw that I had it. So Secret Service looked at it and was like, okay, it doesn't look like there's any weapons or anything, but she's trying to smuggle it. So they let me get through to like the auditorium. And so someone who worked with the event saw it and they're like, oh, let me try to get it screened let me try to help you guys get it signed. And so they talked to Secret Service. And even like people on his team were trying to push to get it through too, because I did a video and it started to go viral. And but Secret Service was like, there could be anthrax on it. so they wouldn't let me get it signed that day. And it was annoying. So anyway, I'm just letting you guys know. And all this stuff is probably really puzzling to how that shooter got it like on the roof, the way that it happened. But we know that was incompetence. But usually they're really strict with this stuff. So if you think that it would have made sense for him to just show up randomly at McDonald's and start working the fryer, no, 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 no. Of course, they have to screen everyone. Someone tried to kill him. He is so lucky. We can call it luck or the grace of God. I don't know. He turned his head at the right moment to look on screen, and only his ear got shot and his brains weren't blown out. And you guys have the audacity to do videos saying people lined up to get their food from Donald Trump. And what kind of criticism is that? Doesn't everyone line up to get their food in the drive-thru? Isn't that what people do? I'm so amazed at the blatant audacity to just be this ridiculous. I'm so amazed. It's incredible. Anyway, Harry's not the only one. Again, I had all those comments. MSNBC was losing their minds. They think that this is evidence of Donald Trump having dementia or something. I don't know, losing it. But let me show you some actual like snippets from his visit, because some of this was really endearing, which is another big problem. The real reason why they probably hate this, because Harry's like, they're trying to trick you like he's the common man or whatever. He's not the common man. He was the president of the United States and he's a billionaire, and he's just different anyway. The hair, the makeup and stuff. He's just different in a lot of different ways from the average person. But he connects well. He's very funny. He has charisma up the wazoo. When my sister met him, she's like, oh my, he's so funny. He is so funny. People, you can like him, not like him, but he's funny. But do you guys remember in 2016? I don't know how old everyone is. Not everybody's been paying attention that long. But in 2016, when Donald Trump was running, he went on Jimmy Fallon. This was really close to the end of the election. Maybe a couple days out. I don't know. It was very close to the end. And Jimmy Fallon was just like, you could win. You could be the president. And he's like, before that happens, is there something that I could do? And he's like, what? And he's like, can I mess your hair? And so he let him do it. And so Jimmy Fallon like ruffled his hair. And people were so mad at Jimmy Fallon. And people were so mad at Jimmy Fallon because it normalized Trump. It humanized him. And they don't want him to appear human. They don't want people to think of him that way. And it's sad. It's sad and it's crazy. But I think that's really what they hate about this. Because this is just like stage stuff. This is just retail politics, like normal stuff that you do in Iowa. Going to fairs or whatever, and you get behind a grill and you chit chat to people. First of all, it's good that he's doing this because it is like actual him campaigning and doing stuff. And not just sitting in his basement or whatever, or just being like, I got this in the bag, or, having I got this kind of attitude. I mean, he's obviously taking this far more seriously than he did, than like in the primary where, I mean, the primary, he had it in the bag. He didn't need to do anything. And maybe you could argue he's out there because he needs to do something because it's tight. But maybe, but at least he's out there doing something. Because I was concerned. I'm like, where is he at? Like, and he was like, oh, I'll do more stuff after after the Democrats have their convention. I'm like, why? But he has been working like nonstop. So it's just good retail politics. This is the kind of stuff that you do. But Kamala Harris isn't good at this stuff, you know. And they do stuff where they kicked out people out of a restaurant and like put people that was on their bus to like come in. You know, they Kamala Harris, there's so much stage stuff. Like, wasn't it staged when she got her call from Joe Biden, or staged when she called Obama, or staged when she called Tim Walz, or at least set up for it to be filmed, right? What about when she called that mayor in Florida in the midst of the hurricane? She had nothing to do with, you know, how they're distributing FEMA funds or anything like that. And she was mad because Ron DeSantis wouldn't take her phone call, but she kept trying to insert herself to make herself look relevant during the storm. And it's fine if she wants to help, but she never called or anything like that for any kind of other previous disaster. But it's an election year. It's tight race. So she wanted to feel important. So she called the mayor, someone who would take her call. And she looked silly, which by the way, the version that they released was also edited, because there was a part where she like kind of, you know, made herself look a little good. And then they cut that out. So it didn't, you know, there was no reflection on her. And it was just about what they needed. So even that is scripted or edited or whatever. So Harry making like the case that, oh, well, they want to, you know, trick people. That's all Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have been doing, tricking Democrats. That's all he's been doing. But anyway, let's look at some of these.
Okay, let's say. You believe this? Look at this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
Okay, so for his first order, yup.
Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it, huh? How are you? What a good-looking family. How did you produce those good-looking kids? Oh, they look like the wife. They look like the wife. How are you? Nice to see you. That's great. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay? This, oh, you're going to some extra stuff.
Oh, okay,
This is all on Trump.
Oh, all of Trump.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's check and make sure it's
Okay.
everything you said it would be.
It better be. It's going to be the best you ever. I made it myself.
You're the man. Make America
That's
great.
their order. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good time. Have a good time. That's great, isn't it?
Okay, and this
How
is
cute
the
is it?
car.
Okay, next car.
Yes, they get both bags.
You like them both at the same time?
Yes, that is right.
Hello, how are you? You're a good-looking guy. We love you. Come here, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will. I promise. Thank you very much. That's on me. Okay? Have a good time. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the White House.
So that's one. Let me see if there's one. Let me find the one that I put on YouTube that caused so much rage. This one. This one is so good. This one's so good.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so
You
much
are
for
not
everything you're
ordinary. I
doing.
can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we want to be the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I took a bullet. That's right.
Thank you, Mr.
When
President.
you think about it, I guess that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So you heard him say thank you for making it possible for ordinary people to meet you, so that people are excited when they get to meet a president. They just usually are. He's not just a president. He's been in the, you know, he's been in the entertainment industry for a long time. He's a pop culture icon, apprentice, and all that other kind of stuff. Way before he was president of the United States, I was on Sunday, I believe it was Sunday nights when Apprentice would come on and you'd hear that Money, Money, Money song. And there's this little dance I would do, just like kind of, because I don't really dance, but I would just go like this, like really slow. And and it was just like my funny little thing when the music, the money, 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 like I love The Apprentice. And then Celebrity Apprentice, and I'd watch it with my family. I remember the night there was like a sporting goods episode. He fired, I think the thing was the first time he was like fired multiple people. He fired like 5 people, and we're like, oh my gosh, Donald Trump has gone crazy. He's firing everybody. I didn't mean like literally crazy, but it was just like, he fired like 5 people at once. I love the show. So I mean, but even before that, he was in Home Alone, all this other kind of stuff. He's so monumental as far as branding, and people wrote rap songs about I want to be like Donald Trump. And there was a line in I think it was Lethal Weapon, the first one. Maybe it wasn't the first one, maybe it was the third one. My sister would know, she's in the comments. I don't know if she's watching right now, but it was one of the no, it was Die Hard. I'm sorry, it wasn't Lethal Weapon. It was one of the Die Hards when someone was like, and I want to marry Donald Trump, and it was a black woman. He's just been all over the place. So people, there's a lot of people even before they voted for him in 2016 who felt like they knew him, and then so many people feel that, like he said, you took a bullet for us. That's how a lot of people feel. That there's that meme. It's pretty iconic where Donald Trump, it's like black and white, and he's sitting in a chair and he's pointing. And he's saying, they're not really after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. And people feel that to their core. So this man being so excited because he actually got to meet Donald Trump, that's not fake. Trump doesn't need to pay people. He doesn't need to hire actors like the White House and Kamala Harris have been doing for a minute. They don't have to go through agencies to pick folks. It's just really as simple as you tell one activist or whatever, someone, state party, local, whatever, they put out some text and they get a list together and people show up and they vet them, they show up. That it's really that simple. But they don't need to pay people to show up. He's got plenty of people who appreciate him and who love him. But when he said, thank you for making it possible for ordinary people to meet you, this is a thing that you can't be taught. It's just really good instinct. And he said, you're not ordinary. I can tell. Like, don't put yourself down. Like, almost like you guys are acting like it's such an honor for you to meet me, but I'm here to service you. And it's just really a great vibe. It was masterful. Like, it wasn't the great, like some people are, I don't know. Some people online are saying that there's some Trump folks like exaggerating on how amazing it was. This was pretty amazing. It was a really good troll for Kamala Harris. Even I think he downplayed or whatever, kind of dissed her, like the fries were so hard. And then like this chef who I've seen on TikTok, who's a former chef at McDonald's, I don't think he works there anymore, said that it's actually hard to make the fries. In New York Post, an article, like, it's not easy as you think. And so many folks in the comments were like, I worked at McDonald's and I did the job while I was high. Like, what are you talking about? It's not hard to do the fries. So Donald Trump goes there and he does the job himself, but it's not a super difficult job, obviously, but it's work, and it's respectful to do the work. And he told, the press that it's disrespectful to lie about doing work like that. And that's the problem with Kamala Harris. Again, there's no evidence that she's worked at McDonald's. Amazing troll. I thought it was hilarious that he did that. Again, this is like really normal retail politics stuff that you do in Iowa while you're running for stuff. But he's not just running for president. He's been the president. He's been the president of the United States. So this is just really cool. It's really cool. I didn't mean to talk about this for that long, but if you are a Democrat who there's other very viral, pictures and videos from that day. I think we've talked enough about it, But if your commentary is along the lines of this is really, dumb, or his supporters are dumb because they think he showed up at McDonald's and they don't know that the place was closed that day. You need to probably, if you're being paid for your political commentary, or if you're some kind of I don't know, consultant or something, you just need to quit your job. Because it's one thing to not like your opponents or your neighbors or whatever who are voting differently from you. It's another thing to not understand them. And if you don't understand them, if you're really that clueless about the Trump supporters or whatever, you need to just actually go touch some grass. Get some perspective. Go dedicate yourself to having real conversations with people, because you're lost. You are utterly lost. Speaking of Lost, not the TV show, which I loved the Lost TV show. I want to show you guys this video that Kamala Harris's team put out, I guess. Oh my gosh, he posted this like it was a positive. Deputy Director of Creative Strategy. Oh my gosh, he doesn't know this ad is stupid. Oh, that is so precious. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me play this for you guys.
Hello, ladies. I'm Trey. It's good to be here.
What do you do and how much do you make?
I work in finance, making six figures.
How tall are you?
6'5"?
Do you have a plan to vote in November?
Nah, not my thing. Hello, ladies.
Okay, so there's this game show. I think it's just pretty much online. I don't know. I've only seen snippets on TikTok. And sometimes I'm like watching, I can go down a rabbit hole watching this pop the balloon game. Okay. So a person, usually it can be the other way around where it's a woman addressing men, but mostly it seems to be like men addressing women. But it's a dating show. Maybe it's even or whatever. But the dude comes up. He says he's 6'5", got a good job, all this stuff, and they all start popping because he says he's not really into voting. This highlights so many episodes that I have seen of the show where women will pop their balloons over the dumbest, most trivial things. And then, and really quick too. And then the man will get to talking and he'll sound like the most sensible person in the world. And a total catch. And then in the comments, you'll see people saying like, women are never happy. Women are so picky. Oh my gosh, they don't deserve him. Comments like that all the time. So them making this video about the pop the balloon game where they're making fun of men or chastising men, like basically you're not going to get a date with me, you're not going to be able to sleep with me or whatever if you're not involved and you're going to vote. So what if he did say I'm going to vote and I'm going to vote for Trump? Would have been the pop anyway, but one way or another they're shaming him. And it's a Harris Walls thing. So obviously they want him to vote a particular way. And this is while they are having trouble with men, but also black men. They're still probably going to get the majority of black men. We'll see. I don't know. I would assume that's a likely scenario, but it is a trouble area for them. And Obama did the shame thing already and got a lot of backlash for it. And Angela Rye now is trying to shame white people for not speaking up and doing more or whatever in the election. I can't stand Angela Rye, but shaming men like this and nagging men like this isn't going to work. It's really off-putting. It is really, really off-putting. And the fact that they made this, and it's not a joke, part of me was like, is it a joke? Then I saw like, oh, it's just bad. Someone had retweeted said it's like they want men to vote against her. I'm sure that's not what they want. I'm sure Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. uh so they thought it was good to put out an ad to make black men seem uneducated and unattractive. I don't know what's up with these people. I don't know what is up with these people, man. Oh boy. So there was other stuff that happened. Um over the weekend. And it was ads they're putting on Snapchat and Instagram, I guess is where the ads are going. Hmm. Everyone's gonna see it now. We all see it's crazy. There's so many things, other things I could talk about. It's been like a crazy weekend, man. Did you guys see on Bill Maher? He had Mark Cuban. He had that the kid who was a really left wing kid, David Hogg, and Joe Scarborough. Uh, I think that's how you say his name, Morning Joe. They're asking them why he's having Trump, why Kamala's having trouble with men, and at one point, I mean, Bill Maher was like the sane one in the room, and they asked a question. Well, in the midst of their conversation, Bill said, "No side has the market on misinformation," and Joe and Mark seem to be offended by that, and they're just like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, no one has the market on being a billionaire or whatever, but Mark has a lot more money than I do," and maybe he's meant to say being rich or whatever, but and his point was, yeah, both sides can lie, but one side really lies more than the other. And he's first of all, he works at MSNBC. At MSNBC. Um, but other than that, Kamala Harris obviously is pushing more misinformation than Donald Trump because the central focus of her campaign is tying Trump to an agenda that isn't even his. The central focus. If Donald Trump can't possibly be as bad as they claim, if their central focus is pointing to something that's not even his campaign agenda. I talked earlier about how I'm making a video about Kamala Harris. It was not hard to come up with reasons to not vote for her. Not at all. It was hard to exclude stuff, to figure which ones I was going to edit out for time. Things that she actually said, things that she actually voted on, things that she tried to push through, things that she promised to do on day one, things that she's saying that she wants to do now, interviews that she had, policy positions that she took as a VP and before, things that she did while in California as a prosecutor and so on. So many things to use against her. And instead of focusing on real things about Donald Trump, they're saying, well, they're going to have pregnancy registries, which, by the way, Tim Walz repeated again. And I don't think I have time to really address it today too, but Tim Walz put out a video about the playbook, and there's something wrong with how he did the playbook, because people are saying there's no way that he wrote a playbook if he and I don't know enough about football to know why it was so stupid. I don't know enough about football. I have to ask somebody else. So maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow. Excuse me. But he again mentioned that Trump and Project 2025, they're going to make a registry of pregnant women. And it's not true. It's not true. Not only is it not true that Donald Trump is even going to do it in Project 2025's agenda, it's literally not even in Project 2025. Literally not even in there. So, who has the corner market on misinformation? It's absolutely the Kamala Harris campaign. CNN, by the way, random acts of journalism, they ran a story on how deceptive Kamala Harris HQ's X account or Twitter, whatever, is. They did a story on some of the lies that they have told. Remarkable. But they are extraordinarily deceptive, and just like stupidly deceptive. Not even like clever. Just liars. Just flat out liars. But moving on. Speaking of liars, I got to talk about this. This made me so mad. These lies about Amber Thurman have. Speaking of Kamala Harris HQ, but this was played at the rally, I guess.
This is not something theoretical. This is not just about a political conversation. It's very real. And Donald Trump is the architect. Women are being denied care during miscarriages. Some only being treated once they develop sepsis. And tragically, because of these bans, some women have even died. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Roll the clip.
My daughter Amber made me so proud.
She was having complications.
And
if there are so many women being denied health care, and let's say they're being denied health care for miscarriages, that would be miscarriage management. There's no law in the books that prevents anyone from getting treatment after their child has passed in the womb. There's no pro-life law in the books that say you cannot remove a dead child from your womb. There's no such law. No such law. Doctors sometimes wait. We don't need to watch the whole thing. Doctors sometimes wait, because she already set it up about miscarriages, and then she played Amber Thurman's video. Doctors sometimes do wait to see if a mother will pass the deceased body naturally, because they would rather not do surgery. So they do sometimes wait, but they certainly don't want women to develop sepsis or whatever. But there's no law that says you can't remove a baby's body. No law. No law. And this hysteria that they're building up, it might be right to wait because you might pass them. So there's just a lot of hysteria going on right now. And when women do have miscarriage management, like in the case of the Duggar, Jessa Duggar, I think is her name. But Duggar, she's married, so Duggar isn't her last name. There's I can't think of her last name, but I did an article on it at the time. But I remember she had a miscarriage, and so she had a DNC, and Abigail Disney and these pro-abortion sites and stuff started writing articles about how she's a hypocrite because she had an abortion. Now, medically, a DNC and other stuff might be coded under abortions, but legally, what the law says is an abortion or isn't abortion isn't the same. Or what definitionally, medically definitionally, you open up a medical dictionary, an abortion is the termination of a pregnancy resulting in the death of an embryo or a fetus. A spontaneous abortion is a miscarriage, but it's spontaneous because you didn't mean to kill the baby. It happened naturally, unfortunately, but naturally. That is a natural death. An induced abortion means you are deliberately, unaliving that child. You're making that abortion happen. That's going to result in the death of that embryo or fetus. There are some people who are just trying to say that an abortion is any ending of a pregnancy. So if you have a C-section, and I am not joking, if you have a C-section, there are people who will go on TikTok and other places, it's not just TikTok, and just swear up and down that you are having that you are having an abortion, or that you had an abortion. And they'll even have I'm pro-abortion all 9 months. And so now pro-life people have to say, do you mean lethal abortion? That's how stupid these people are. Anything to cause confusion so they can kill more babies. But Amber Thurman did not have a miscarriage. That's not how she got sepsis. She got sepsis because she took the abortion pill. She couldn't have one in her home state, so she traveled out of state and got the abortion pills to kill her 2 twins. And she did successfully. But she had a complication, which is something that is possible. This should be a teachable moment for women, that these pills that they want you to be able to get over the counter in these drugstores are not as safe as they make it seem. That your life could be on the line if you take them. We need to talk about how dangerous these pills can be. I mean, they're dangerous because they kill human children, but they're dangerous for the mothers too. And they want women to be able to have a sob story and be able to access them wherever they are in the country and have them mailed to their state where there's a ban. They just want this so readily available. And unfortunately, the Trump campaign has decided to go all in on trying to support a woman's right to choose and not do anything federally and let the states decide, but they have something to say if they think the states are too extreme. That they could be talking right now about how the abortion pill killed Amber Thurman or led to the sepsis, and then she didn't get it treated properly in time. But that's not because of the law. That's not because of the law. The hospitals, there was some malpractice there. They should have treated her sooner. But here's what's crazy about Kamala Harris. And here's what's crazy about Tim Walz. And here's what's crazy about her family. And I hate to speak negatively about her family in the midst of their tragedy, but they are inserting themselves here, so we got to speak the truth. What's insane to me is if you are trying to win a malpractice suit against the hospital for not properly treating your daughter, why are you hooking up with Kamala Harris and letting yourself be used as a political pawn when it's supposed to be the hospital's fault? Because she's saying it's Donald Trump's fault. She's saying it's Donald Trump's fault and his abortion ban's fault, and that's the law's fault. So if it's the law's fault, and the hospital was acting in accordance to what they thought was proper according to the law, and you have the Vice President of the United States, huge advocate for women's reproductive rights, saying that it was Donald Trump's fault and the abortion ban's fault. How is it the hospital's fault? How is it the hospital's fault? Do you not care about your daughter enough to get proper justice for her? And enough for her child that survived to make sure that he gets the benefits, at least the payout from that justice being served against the hospital? Because her lawyer has already said that it wasn't the law, it was the hospital. So what are they doing here? What are they doing here? It doesn't make any sense. But to set this story up, they're denying women who are having miscarriages to get a treatment. She had an induced abortion. It was not a miscarriage. It was not a miscarriage. And again, if this happens so often, why not use a real example instead of using Amber Thurman? Why not use a real example? Because you're reaching and you're lying. This made me so upset. I'm mad at her, and I don't understand her family. I don't understand her family at all. And maybe they just need someone to blame. But here's the reality of the situation. An abortion ban would have saved her life. A national abortion ban, which neither candidate is pitching, by the way, would have saved Amber Thurman's life. Because she went out of state because she could get one in her state. So she went somewhere else to kill her twins, and now there are 3 people dead. Instead of just the 2 she meant to kill. But if there was a national abortion ban, what likely would have happened is that she would have carried her twins, raised them, and loved them. That's what normally turn-away study, women who are denied abortion, they follow them for 5 years. 96% of women who are denied abortion, who are turned away from abortion rather, do not regret not killing their kids. No, maybe she would have given them up for adoption. Maybe she felt like she couldn't raise them. I don't know. But most women, they don't regret that they didn't take their life. So abortion access being so readily available is cruel. It's cruel because the reality is that women would be glad that they didn't do this evil deed and wouldn't have to carry the scars of what they did. And these aren't just scars. She's gone. She's dead because of the abortion pill and the stupidity of the hospital. I don't know why they didn't treat her sooner, but there was no law that prevented her from being treated. So if I was a hospital, I would say the president, the vice president of the United States is saying that the law and Donald Trump's law, the pro-life laws, and the family apparently agreed with this, that Trump is at fault. How are we at fault when it was Trump's fault? How are we at fault when the law said that the law made confusion? They're out here saying it's this man's fault. So how's it our fault? It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Another thing that's pretty crazy that I'm sure you guys have heard about by now. Kamala Harris broke out. I'm sorry, not broke out. She kicked out some people that were at a rally after they shouted Jesus is Lord. Now you can't really hear it great in these videos, but this is one of the dumbest things. One of the dumbest things.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Smiling, waving goodbye. It's so desperate to have a girl boss
I
moment.
think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Christians? Oh, you're at the wrong rally. So now I've seen some people who were, pro Harris or whatever, trying to say she's not anti-Christian. She was talking about abortion and stuff, and they yelled out, and that's why they said the thing. And so many people who are religious have their pro-life views rooted in that, or just, guys, this is so stupid to do. It was so stupid to do. Many people were offended by it. People were offended back in how long ago was that, when there was a moment where the Democrats booed God, like they were mad because they're going to take something out of their platform, but they ended up like keeping it in, and then people were mad and people in the audience were booing. I know people who like left the Democrat Party after that moment, like that was their exodus. Like, not that they were happy with the Democrats, but that was the moment. It's like, oh, I need to get the heck out of here because they don't like my God too much. There were better ways to handle this. I mean, you can't just be yelling out stuff when you're in a rally like that. And some people do. I mean, JD Vance, someone said Jesus is Lord at his rally, or Jesus is King, and JD Vance had a great response to it. So we can look at that really quickly.
Anti-Christian rhetoric and anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that's right. Jesus is king. And I don't think that we've seen.
Yep. That's something.
I don't think that we've seen anything like this in modern American
history. Yeah. Yep, sure is. Yep. Did miss a beat. So what Kamala Harris, she could have did something like, hey, we can have some church now, but remember, we got to be in order, or just something like that. We can't do things out of order. I mean, like, you know, she could have been like, amen. But we gotta stay in order. And I don't know how many that would have resonated to a lot of black churchgoers, I think, where you kind of hamper it down, show a bit of, your church literacy and use some vernacular that people respond to settle stuff down a bit. Now I don't know how much of a ruckus they still would have caused. They ended up getting kicked out after that. And I don't know the background of those kids. Maybe well, I don't think they're kids, but I think they're students or whatever. Like college students maybe, but there are I think they said Jesus is Lord. If they were gropers or whatever Nick Fuentes's people are, they usually say Christ is King and not Jesus is Lord. I'm not saying they can't say another one of that, but I don't know what prompted that response for someone to go to that rally and hear her. I don't know if it was an actual supporter. I don't know why someone who'd be that offended to shout that out during the abortion segment would be one of her supporters. I don't know if someone was just kind of, I don't know, trying to get a scene of things, recording stuff, went there to shout it out at one point to see what she would do. Maybe there, I don't know, maybe it was just righteous indignation just bubbled over. It was like a cry loud, spare not kind of moment. I don't know what the motivation was of them saying that, but one way or another, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is King and stuff. So she could have just been like, amen, and and I'll see you on Sunday at that church, but we got to do things in order while we're here, and let it be something like that. But she's not too good at being on her feet, though. She responded to that very quickly. And I saw somebody comment about that video on TikTok, and they said, oh, she's never been so quick giving a response in her life. And that she responded real quick to that, to say, I think you're at the wrong rally. So what kind of message is that send? Someone says Jesus is Lord and you say you're at the wrong rally. You should go to the one down the street. The message is clear to Christians there. Like, you don't belong here. You obviously should be supporting the other guy. Now you can say, well, it was because of the context of abortion, and abortion is evil and obviously an ungodly thing anyway. And unfortunately, both of them support it to some kind of degree. Well, Donald Trump will say it's the states' rights to decide whatever. And I don't know, to me, it just seems like he's against late term, but that leaves a lot of unprotected babies. She supports no limitations. So neither of them are right on this issue. And I am really disappointed in the route that the Republicans and the Trump administration, the Trump campaign has decided to go. And I hope he backtracks and makes a turn. And I've talked to some people, a lot of people privately, and they think that he will, but I don't know. I don't get that kind of vibe. I don't think you change the platform of the Republican Party because you want to just, they're thinking down the line, elections in the future, legacy, all the other kind of stuff. I think they really kind of want to kill this issue. So and just make it something that we don't talk about it every day, or so much in politics. But I don't know how possible that is right now. If Republicans want to kill it amongst ourselves, I don't know how much opposition we can have. But the truth is that the Democrats are still, even though Trump has moderated on it so much, they're still saying that he's going to do a national abortion ban. And they're lying about pregnancy registries and all this stuff. I wish we just had the courage to say what abortion was, and you could really just debate the issue and just put it right in their face. Like, every time we have a conversation about this, we're talking about killing children. And I'm not going to have a single conversation about this that does not highlight that reality. And if you would like to explain to me why you feel that mothers should be able to kill their children, we wouldn't say it about fathers. Because, and to kill them for such trivial reasons. Decisions you took lightly, but they are trivial reasons when weighed against someone's worth and someone's life. We would never accept a father killing their child because they don't want to deal with them. They can't afford it, or their relationship with their baby mama ain't working out. We would never accept that. And if we live in a country where we think men and women who are this not the same, but they are equal, how can we give this special right to women? If both can live, both should live. I wish we had some courage to stand up on this issue. And it's very unfortunate. And let's say Trump does win on November the 5th. Let's say he does win. Republicans have to check him and other Republicans. And there needs to be like a overhaul of our courage and our convictions, or it's just going to get way worse. It's just going to get way worse. So, but she's so bad. She's so bad. This made me so angry. This Amber Thurman stuff. I know we went back to Amber Thurman, but the lies that they tell. But all this prompted the Jesus is King or Lord or whatever. They said that in the midst of the abortion conversation, and maybe she just tried to shut it down because she was defending it or whatever. But to tell the Christian or someone who's proclaiming Christian stuff that they are at the wrong rally, the aesthetics of that are insane, just absolutely insane. So she's getting into some hot water there for sure. I thought about going on TikTok and doing a live that's just like Kamala Harris is evil. And just have it be that simple, man. A lot of things also happened over the weekend. It's campaign season. We're already over an hour. You know, Lizzo went to Detroit. She still owes me $5,000, by the way. She did a little video where she's like twerking. I'm not gonna show it to you guys, because I love you. So I'm not gonna do that to you guys. But they're still really pushing this thing about like, oh, Trump says that if Kamala Harris wins, she'll make the rest of the world like Detroit. That might be good to play up to a crowd in Detroit, and Michigan is an important swing state, and there's a lot of bodies that live in Detroit, obviously, and Wayne County is going to be the last county to put their votes in, on election night. So it's an important, city and stuff, but people watching on the outside who only heard some things about Detroit, or maybe they've been there, they're not thinking like, oh gosh, I don't what? Detroit? They probably don't want the rest of the country to look like Detroit. We talked about this a lot last week when Trump was like in hot water about saying the comment about if Kamala wins, she'll make the rest of the country like Detroit. And I mentioned some things I talked to my family about, but my youngest sister, she was like, some areas of Detroit look like Kenyan slums. Because there's some of the there's some she they had a good time in Kenya and stuff. Though some weird things happened to her. She was peed on by a lion. So that was an interesting story. But there's some really bad slums in Kenya, and she said some of their slums look like areas in Detroit. So Detroit is not just Comerica Park or just downtown, or there's some really nice areas, really nice spots, waterfront stuff. There's great areas for filming and shooting and hanging out, but there are some parts you dare not go, especially at night. So pushing that Detroit commentary, it's a choice. It's a choice. DOJ is also suing Virginia for trying to get non-citizens off their voter rolls. I'm not joking. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but maybe we'll mention some more of these things tomorrow. But for now, I'm gonna let you go. But we have fun today, I believe. Anyway, you should make that t-shirt. Oh gosh. AC, if you're still there, what are you talking about? Which t-shirt? I didn't see the comment until now, so now I don't know. or maybe you're responding to someone in the. No, you can't be responding to the comment ahead of you. I don't know which T-shirt you're talking about. Anyway, I'm just looking at comments a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. Please go to blacktnews.com, check out different content, a website, articles, videos, etc. If you like what I do here, please consider leaving a donation on the website if you can, because it does cost to stream and run the site, all that stuff, so you guys can support. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. You guys can also check out different merch that is available on the website. We do have different mugs and t-shirts, like the goat hoodie. It's starting to get cold. I do have these in different colors, and the hoodie is super soft. We got a t-shirt and other stuff you guys can check out. Got the black tea mug and other things like this cool Frederick Douglass, the Constitution was a Glorious Liberty document t-shirt. I started going back and forth with someone before I came on, and someone had said something like it was the Breakfast Club. Lord Trump was on the Breakfast Club, by the way. Maybe I don't know if I want to play clips. Breakfast Club is so silly and hard about their copyrights and stuff. So I know I'll get dinged for it, but I saw some clips. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but I saw a clip of Laura defending Trump because they were like, Trump is racist. And she said, I've never heard him say anything racist. And Charlamagne just like, we have Google. And so I don't know if they played clips during her interview. They just cut different clips for the video on social media. But the clips that they showed to prove that Donald Trump was racist wasn't racism. Was it offensive? Like there was a Haiti calling it a bleep hole country. That was offensive. I can understand people being mad about it, but I don't see why that makes it racist. And then they played the clip of Donald Trump saying Mexico isn't sending their best. They're sending their rapists and other stuff like that. I'm like, how is that racist? Go back and actually watch that whole clip. Like so much that I think that clip aged well. So the fact that the Breakfast Club is using that, what did they do? Just Google like some kind of list that said that Donald Trump is racist and just pick a couple things. If I said if I said Joe Biden is racist, and we can just Google, do you know what examples I would use? I would use, oh, if you have trouble deciding between me and Donald Trump, then you ain't black. And which he said to Charlamagne, that was racist. When he said to some Hispanic voters, unlike the African American community, the Hispanic community is very diverse about different thoughts and ideas. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids. That was racist, though. I don't think the intent was to be racist there. And maybe the intent's always not to be racist, but stuff he's saying is racist. I don't think that one was necessarily meant to be racist. I think Joe Biden just doesn't talk too well sometimes. But the other things I mentioned were racist. Just saying that every time you can't go into a 7-Eleven with a slight Indian accent. It's kind of funny, but it's racist, So I could have different examples for Joe, certainly, but they didn't even show examples of Donald Trump being racist. And one thing they mentioned was the Central Park 5 letter, and that he never apologized to them. It's not racist to think that they did it. That the evidence pointed that way, including their confessions. And they're like, well, they were exonerated. I'm pretty sure they were never exonerated. They couldn't retry. They didn't see a point in retrying their case when new evidence came to light, because most of them had already served their sentences. But I don't think they're ever exonerated. And they got payouts and other stuff, but I think a lot of that was for political reasons. I don't know. You guys can go watch their confessions online and make your own decisions and your own conclusions or whatever, but the courts consistently ruled that their confessions were given voluntarily and could be used, weren't coerced. Go. I also think some of the stuff that they were saying, I don't understand how people think that the police could make all these kids say this stuff that would corroborate with what each other is saying, and expect that it will work together so well to get all those kids to very quickly act in concert that way. It just seems like a big ask, especially to push all this stuff while the jogger is in a coma, because you don't even know if she's going to wake up and say that they did it, or whatever. She couldn't remember anything. So it just seemed like a big gamble to make up a big story. But anyway, you guys can go figure that out for yourselves. Make your own determinations. But the actual ad that Trump took out wasn't racist. And you should go read it for yourself. I put it on my website. You guys should go read it for yourself. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.